All right. Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap Academy. We do this every Thursday. We're going to go through your content. It's really something kind of interesting we do. I mean, we open the mic for you. We want to hear about your trading and your decision making. Best if you can trade right from the Bookmap chart, so we can go over details on trade management as well. And to give you feedback, coaching and mentoring. If you guys are interested in this over on YouTube, this is how you get there to the Bookmap Academy. Go to bookmap.com, click on the More button here, and then go down to under Community here, go to Academy, and read through it. You can apply here, and you can get Bookmap for free. You work your way up through the Academy. You can get data for free. You can become a Bookmap streamer in here. It's our in-house internal process here for you to become a better trader, and pretty unique program compared to just following another trader. We've got a really robust support or Discord channel in here to go through your content and give feedback and help each other as well. That's a huge part of it, and like-minded people and traders. All right, so let me go through the disclosures. General disclosure: all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so I think there's a couple of things I want to go over with you guys. Just some news events first. So you probably got the email digest that we sent out today. But let me just go through it here and brief you again if you didn't. So this Trader Map Lite platform, or I'm sorry, this Trader Map Lite add-on here. Well, I'll show you what it does here, but it will get rid of these algo bands, the stacker algo inside the ES, the NQ, the MES, and the MNQ. This will work only with Rhythmic data and now IQ feed and Bookmap data as well. All right, so it's only for the futures that you'll see these bands. And let me just show you exactly what I mean. I know a lot of you guys over in the Academy are rolling your eyes. It's pretty straightforward though. If we take a look here at the ES today, let's just zoom in here a little bit. Interesting behavior actually. This algo band is only on the bid here right now, and if we go back to when it came in the market, oh god, I don't have data to around 8 o'clock. Well, anyways, around 8 o'clock when it comes in, this time today, a bit different behavior. Is just buying. It's on the bid only. So maybe that gives us ticks off a little bit of insight for us as well, that this algo is only interested getting filled on the bid. All right. So and today was a huge down day. So can give some insight to maybe what's happening in price. All right. So it also works on the NQ and MES and MNQ as well. That's one thing. So it's free. It's included. You just have to have the data feeds of Rhythmic, Bookmap data, or IQ feed. The new trading journal, that now you can configure the time zones in there, which is great. So you can add your time zone in here that you like. We have a new footprint chart released, and then this one here, really great competition that we had on your trade station. This was the winner here. This guy here, D-Boys GT3RS and Valet Fan. Welcome, Valet Fan. And both winners here. The setups are incredible. Look at this guy. He's got ambient light in the background here. It changes different colors. He's got get 1% better every day. work hard, etc. Over here, he's got all sorts of monitors, cameras. He's got his code deck here. He's got it. He's got pretty much everything. Great workstation here. And then Valley Fan, he's got, I don't know how many monitors in here. He's got his stream deck here, I think, as well, or maybe that's a laptop. I can't quite see it. He's also got the doctor over here from Valentino Rossi, and other motivational stuff in here. So it's not just about this, technology and setup. It was about, more kind of everything for your workstation and your environment. All right, so good stuff. And then join us on Reddit. Okay, we're now on Reddit. And another thing here, Discord, you will need to verify your email when you come in to Discord now. It's the email that you use for logging into bookmap.com. All right, so that's really important to cover. I can show you that exactly here. It's over on the when you go to bookmap.com, and you'll see it under here. And when you're new, it'll bring you right in here, and you'll need to click on this and verify. Okay, I just go through the process, but that's the room there for it. And then congratulations to Rob, or Robbed. He had this is the insight of the week. Good stuff in here. Just read through not only what he has here. He didn't even take a trade in here, but why it was the insight of the week is because he's talking himself through it. This kind of reflection process, what he's doing, which is this is a part of the journaling. It's not to just mark things up, but to go and reflect off of it, think about it, how to do better, how to improve. Anyway, thanks everybody. Good stuff there. So we got David in today as the coach, and we will get started here. So, a minute, and let's see here. Who's in that you've covered, David?
I did Slowdown, I did Alan, and I'm going to say Joachim.
Yeah.
Apologies if I've done damage to the pronunciation of that.
Let's go over. Start with Alan. Alan's in, and it's been a while since we have covered Alan.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Hi guys. Hi Bruce. Hi David.
Hey Alan, how are you?
I'm okay. Just some stuff going on, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
One day at a time. One day at a time. So.
Okay. David, why don't you kick it off, or if you want Alan to walk us through, whatever, it's your show.
Yeah, Alan, talk me through on this one, please, if you can. So,
okay. Okay. Bigger.
This is from the 24th, Alan, wasn't it? So it was last week, RTH session. So yeah, talk me through, and thank you for sharing a trade that you dynamically adjusted and so forth to get your greener out of it. But yeah, it'd be nice to sort of hear your side, and then we can talk into where we think there's some possible tools.
Yeah, so this is like my usual short squeeze. So I see I put a box around those stop runs at the 346, 172, because usually when you see the larger stop runs, there's so much volatility. It's usually a recipe for a short squeeze. So, but I wait, but you have to wait until the green bubbles appear. Some people, maybe they'll wait and it's red, but it can keep going. So maybe I could have gotten earlier, like a little lower. Yeah, but I wanted to get more confirmation, and then I see all these blue icebergs. I see the one that I pointed to. There's one, if you see Bruce on top of the sub chart, you can't really see it, but it's 50. I wrote 50 contract buy ice. You see that? Yeah. So I noticed that. So I figured that I want to get some confluences. I think I know David always tells me to put a checklist. So I put a checklist over here to go to. So seeing that, I mean, iceberg can't be used in a vacuum. And then I saw the green bubbles, going up. And usually when there's a short squeeze, it goes up with somewhat force. You know, you see the volume bars.
Yeah.
I kind of got in closer to where did I get? Yeah, so I got in when I saw the volume bars, I got long, and then the trade. What the hell did I do?
Right
I ended
here.
up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could have gotten sooner, but I don't know. I wanted to be right there, and it kind of went against me in the beginning, and I was in a closeout, but I saw that like all those icebergs. There's 180. You see, there's a 180 iceberg.
Yeah.
So I got in there, and the purple's where I got out. So I was trying to get a higher. Well, Bruce knows that. You see, the purple line was. I was trying to get toward the VWAP. You know what? Yeah, there it is. So I put my profit target like a little below VWAP, and just 'cause I don't want to it's a shame to well, I've done it unfortunately, but let it gain into a loss. So it was. I think everyone's done that, but
every day, every day.
Yeah, yeah. And I always think
I've never done that.
No, just us, Bruce.
Yeah. So I lowered the take profit significantly because the purple line is really standing out. So that's why I lowered it there because it wasn't going. It wasn't going. I felt it could have gone, but it was. I was happy. I was happy with the points that I made, and sure enough, after I closed out, the price went right to the top. But
yeah,
that's how trading's Murphy's law.
Yeah.
I think I took a picture of it, but I didn't post them together. But yeah, I tried to. Yeah, I'm just trying to help people understand the dynamics of a short squeeze along with risk management. If you so you can see where the entry and the exit and how I moved around to manage the risk, even though I wanted more, but there was a certain point where I wasn't going to go past, and that's the main gist of it. If you want to go through the checklist, or I know you're always telling me to put a checklist.
Yes.
So there, there it is. So.
No, it's good. And I was chatting to Dan, although I'm going to start to call Dan Danny Ocean, if you don't mind, Dan.
Whatever.
From our conversation on the on the poker. So yeah, thanks again, Alan, for the chart. Let me sort of be the critical friend here. I think you sort of summed it up yourself in terms of perhaps being a bit late into the market.
Yeah.
When I look at this chart, but again, we all play our own game. All of you heard me talk about sort of golf and different ways we swing and so forth, and trading is no different to that. The thing I'd be interested to perhaps first of all talk about, now maybe you weren't at the screen. If we go across the left at sort of 10 o'clock, we have a very decent NQ ice kicking off, which is 100 and 150.
180. It's 180 at the right side.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, kicking down here, and then you have that classic sort of Scott Pulcini at probably about 10:03. You have that what is a very decent stop run, and then you have the big fat green bubble. For me, I'd have been scalping that back up
for a short. Going up to there.
Yeah, quite aggressively taking that one down. The pattern you've got there, you have got that sort of classic lower highs,
V-shape.
Carving your way down. Then at 10:15, now my usual line traders, we're all great. We're Ivy League traders on the left hand side of the chart, so everyone's chuckling along with me on this one. But at 10:15,
everyone's an expert at 4 o'clock.
We are, sir. We are. At just about 10:14, you've got that classic volume spike, that B that you very much see on NQ. And you, as you say, you're waiting for that squeeze, but it's gone up 10 handles or so before you get in. And when you're getting in, we can see there's a stop run going on, but also you're into that congestion area of about 19,000 as a broad range area. So it's quite a bold entry.
Yeah, I know. I should have gone sooner, but I just wanted to. It's just
you got money out, so that's great. that's great, and we're all improving every day. We're learning, but the thing on NQ is those that trade it, we know it really is. It's it's MMA, it's mixed martial arts. You can't sit around. You've just got to throw the punches when you get the signal. So just tighten up that that entry will hopefully.
It moves. I mean, today it was moving like crazy.
Wasn't it just?
This is crazy. 2 days in a again. One from the up 600, next day down 700. I don't remember seeing anything like it. But it can eat you alive with those pullbacks. If it's like on a normal day, I don't know whatever you want to describe as a normal day. But when I have one of these economic news or whatever, and it becomes like a very big directional day or a very high volatility day, the pullbacks can kill you alone. So you have to get a sense of NQ by part of the entry for the long is that I saw the pullbacks were kind of shallow.
Yes.
So usually as the pullbacks, some of them fly up, and then some of them, if it only goes up 3-4 handles or whatever, then it doesn't really bother me. That's why I stayed in. I was about to get out, and then I saw the iceberg. You see, there's iceberg a 180, and then there's another one on top of the further up to the right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is.
No, on top one. There's one right, lower the pencil, bottom. Just keep lowering the way to the right. No, it's used as on the right. If you go where the 180 was, just go straight up on top of it. Yeah, just go look up. You see, there you just passed it.
Bruce
come down.
Today, see.
There it is. You see the 180?
Yeah.
The second one. The second.
Was this a market order entry, Alan, or did you put a?
Yeah. Well, there was another order of 180. There by the
there is
55. So that gave me a little more, confidence to stay in it. Did you find it, Bruce? The one, it's by it's right under the 187. You just go up a tiny drop and you're there. I forget it. It's okay.
How am I missing this?
Go to I think you want the 83.
This one, the stop run.
Yeah, they're right.
Oh,
right
this
above
180 it. Here. Got you. I got you. Okay, that one. Yeah. Jeez. Sorry.
It's Thursday
Segue
now.
in, Bruce. Segue in, sir. You can run with the ball now, please.
So since the numbers were both the same, 180 exact, I figured it was one player probably or institution doing this, because usually when regular, I don't know, like retail traders and stuff like that, you don't see such even numbers, like 180 and then 180 again, even number. Usually, they say that's hedging or not, but nobody really knows. But that's what gave me some confidence, because they just kept popping up all over the place. So I was about to get out, like I said, and then the iceberg showed up, and I figured it had to be filled, and I wasn't looking for like a home run trade. I was looking for a single, maybe single, and go for a double, but not get thrown out at second. Like you say, it happens.
Yeah. Well, I really like David's comment here about you've got the checklist. You got to have the things that you're looking for. If you don't, pass on the trade, and don't feel bad about it. You know what you're looking for.
Feel bad about what? Oh, not getting everything.
Yeah, not missing it or something. It's just it's not easy, but it's a part of it.
It's fine. Like I missed whatever. Yeah, I know what you're saying. That's why, like Scott says, trading is easy but not simple.
Yeah. So a couple of things. First off, Alan, it looks like your heat map, you have it on. You do not have it on the Gaussian blur. So it looks like every single price level is in here. Like and that's a good feature, that blurring. Let me I'll demo it for you guys really quickly. So you might want to consider that. Because let's just we'll maybe try to find another NQ today. Yeah, if we go right click, go to the heat map settings, and then it is the smoothing down here. So it looks like you have it on none, like this.
Oh, for that
right?
is for the aggregated data.
So yeah, I mean, so basically, what's really great about this, and what the developers did, this was like 10 years ago, they came up with this, was to smooth it so that it will kind of take these areas and blend them together, and you'll see kind of the high liquidity areas better. You might want to use the manual mode if you don't like that, the auto, and then maybe don't, just bring it down a bit, and you just get a little bit of the smoothing manually in here.
What is it like supposed to do, the smoothing?
Well, yeah, I mean, it'll show you. Maybe it's not working so well on this because of the algo in here, but let's go over to Microsoft, for example, this is $415, so there's a lot of liquidity, a lot of price levels in here. But oops, let's go to heat map again, and we will go to manual or none, and then see these are levels of liquidity, but this is per cent, per each cent in here. If you like this view, that's fine. You also have the option though for a manual. So you can see here there's no smoothing or very little. It looks like it does a little bit, and then you can kind of smooth it this way, and really blur it if you want.
Is this similar to TradeMap Pro, like to see just
no, this is just regular heat map. This is the default setting is auto, and it will smooth it out.
I had it on none.
Yeah, it looks like you have it on none.
So does that what cause those lines that?
Yeah, I mean, then you can't see the heat map very well, So all you're looking at is price structure and volume.
Because of those yellow lines, you can't.
Yeah,
they're
too thin, right? Yeah, play around with it, and just right click, go to heat map settings, and look at the smoothing. Another technical thing in here to go through is for those of you that you're getting these vertical yellow lines in here, and what this means. This is by design. It is showing you where there could be a potential discrepancy in the icebergs or stops, and we put that in there because it was Scott Pulcini, in fact, where he was getting a different reading than some of his other users or followers, and then they were like, well, what do you mean you have 180 icebergs when I only have 150 or something? There might have been a disconnect, even for an instant, and when there is, then this vertical yellow line will appear. So to me, what this says, Alan, is you are probably connected wirelessly, or your connection.
What do you mean? I have a wire. I do with Ethernet.
Okay, well then it looks like your connection is a little iffy to me, to be honest.
What? Aren't the yellow lines when there's a lot of order flow coming in, like
no,
and it makes yellow lines?
No, it's only for the when there might be a discrepancy from the MBO data, and then this line will appear.
So what? So you just put it on auto? You're saying?
Because it was driving people crazy. People couldn't. They were starting to not trust the MBO data. No, there's nothing you can do about that except for try to make your connection better.
Well, why do you say that? It's the internet connection. I have a pretty fast connection.
Okay, well then maybe it's the data provider. I don't know. But
could it be settings and somewhere in Bookmap?
I'm
section how much memory you should allocate and all that stuff. I don't know. That section is that.
You might, but to me this looks more of like a connectivity issue. But I know you've been having some issues with your PC, so that's what I thought.
I was having issues getting the journal to work with the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My PC's got zapped with an electric storm, so I had to change them all. So yeah. So maybe it's something I can adjust on. Maybe it's something I can adjust on the computer itself.
Yeah, maybe. You might want to reach out to support@bookmap.com on that. And another one too, Alan. I mean, I see your volume bars down here. You've got now. It's always selling on the bottom and buying on the top, the way you have it. It doesn't mean that there's always more buying than selling in here. That's not the case. In here there's more selling than buying. Anyway, you might want to use the delta bars, like you're using delta dots. Consider that. I think you'll probably get more out of the bars. It's just maybe you've already done it and you don't like it, but just a thought.
What do you mean? What dots?
Yeah, let me show you. So right now, see the volume bars in here. These are delta bars. It's buy minus sell, and so are my dots.
Like CVD?
No, just bars. So let me show you where the setting is. You go to studies configuration, and then volume bars here. And you can inherit the setting right from the dots here if you want. But here I'll demo that in just a sec. But we'll take a look at just total volume in here, and that's it. Solid. Yeah, that'll be it. So here, note that it's similar now to yours. Like red selling, and then on top is always buying. But see how the read is a little bit harder in here.
Yeah.
So you might want to go to, and all you have to do is go to your volume bars and then go inherit from the dots.
And what does it mean? What did dots? I'm sorry. What did dots mean exactly? I'm not sure. Right.
Huh?
What do you mean by the dots? I'm not sure what you mean by that.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is actually incorrect. It's only inheriting the clustering from the dots. So inherit the clustering from the dots, but then also just go up here to volume delta and just click on this. Okay, so see the difference? So again, this is now buy minus sell in your bars.
You do it again?
Yeah.
So
here's total volume, selling on the bottom and then buying on top. And then you can switch to delta, which will be buy minus sell, and it's either going to be a green bar, or it's going to be a red bar, one or the other.
And what does apply to dots do?
It will just inherit the clustering setting from the dots. That's all.
So it's just a matter of preference. Like
it's up to you. I just suggest that you take a look at it. I think if I look at your image, and this is why I mentioned it, it looks to me like you're not. I'm not getting much out of it. Maybe try the delta bars, because like this in here, you're going to see like, whoa, like David said, he'd be all over this, and he would scalp it up to here, like a rash.
Ride like a stolen bike.
But you see down here, you can see the difference. Like the red bars are small.
It's a major. It's all green.
Yeah, just play with it. Try the delta, and see if you get more out of it. That's all. Just suggestions. There's
so much to learn, but one thing at a time.
Yeah, and well, I mean, look, you can always reach out to the help support group in Discord. Those guys, the moderators and others in there, are awesome. They're great, so they'll help you with that too. And just go to the knowledge base as well. There's all sorts of stuff on it, and there's also videos on the Learning Center.
Okay, I appreciate that, Bruce.
Sure. And then just a couple comments on your trade. I really like the things that David said. I think your entry here is pretty tough. You're really close to the figure, and you're in a big downtrend. So it's going to be I can understand why you took profit so quickly. Because you're saying, well, it's not worth it. This is what you're looking for, and it did it, but. I can understand, like I said, like why it's right here at the figure, and this thing will go back and forth like this. It might come back down and then come back up, And do you want to be holding it here from this point on?
Yeah, that's I had your you in mind when I placed it. The reason I lowered to take profit is because I have in mind what you always tell us that if it doesn't do what you want now, cut it. So it was going up, and sure enough, after it did go to the view up. So I guess my thesis was more right than not, but I wasn't gonna risk it going negative when it was up a decent amount, and so and yeah, and your advice is good. If it's not doing what you, I mean, I give it a little bit of time, but if it's not doing what you want right away, then that's it. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah. I mean,
I don't always do, but I try and incorporate that more. I have to get used to doing that more. But that's what I did. That's part of my thought process here. Just don't lose a profit.
okay, I like it. I mean, just to hit singles, get good at it, and like David over here would hit a single, he's out.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, listen, if you watch baseball, most of the teams that win the World Series are single and double hitters. All those teams with the home run hitters, they end up losing. Always going for home runs, then they're losing. No, I'm serious. Look, the singles and doubles, you get pretty far.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, you get a couple of winners under your belt. You're gonna feel good. You're gonna look for that. You're gonna know that setup, and continue to repeat it. You're looking for like David's example here.
Yeah.
Look for that big fat pitch, right down the center, and this is telling you something. And okay, you're not looking for much, but get in it and get out.
Yeah, that's a nice 10 point, 13 point scalp over there.
Yeah. And maybe it turns into something bigger. Maybe the figures here, it goes below it a little bit. Like maybe he's thinking.
It did. It did turn bigger. It went past the top of the range.
Yeah, yeah. So just some considerations there, on some of these singles. Another thing too, like just a few comments in here. I hope it helps. You're looking for, it's kind of a hard trade, and you're getting really good at it. But the like this big move down, like how do you know like this is enough in here on the buy side to look for that mean reversion at this point? Is this a higher time frame level?
Market pulse helps when it's on the, because if you hear the bullish volume, the buy volume come in, that helps. And the green bubbles, were up. I should have got in like where that arrow is, because the green bubble was there enough, and I could have scalped it up to my entry, but it was going up so fast that I said, okay, it's enough confirmation, and at least at the moment that it's showing up, and it looked like it was continue up to VWAP, because it was going with a lot of force, and then it just reversed down. And like I said before, I wouldn't have stayed in it if I didn't see that the second 180 iceberg and the 12 iceberg. So
yeah,
that would let me into. But yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I always appreciate it. It's just so much, to get. I mean, I guess everyone is different. You have to see what works for you, what you like,
Yeah. I mean, like it depends on your time frame. Here. I mean, maybe this entry here is great.
I use 5 minutes
for a bigger move. Maybe you're looking for at that point, even maybe through your VWAP here. But another thing that might help you is to start looking at, maybe just consider it. Just continue doing what you're doing, but maybe as a separate study, start looking at some trend lines. Because this reminds me again, I always think of that Anchit trade from Donkey Face. So he's looking for it to be moving and moving and moving away, and then he's looking for the snapback. But he is looking at like technical levels, and he's looking for that volume to pick up. And he's getting in, and he's just riding it up. He'd be getting out somewhere around in here.
But to ride, what do you say? What was the terminology? To ride the I just blanked out. What were we saying before?
Just ride it back up. I mean, like I
know that you said a longer time frame, but in that longer time frame, you can have it go against you plenty of times, because Nasdaq is like a race car, so it's kind of I understand the theory behind the bigger, like for bigger move, or maybe more of a swing, but the bookmap, the market doesn't know that you want a bigger move than normal. So that's why I like the single double thing, and
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, wait for, I think, that's the beauty of, I think, the software is wait for these guys to tell you through their
right.
behavior. And then you're integrating really well the stops and icebergs into it. So no,
Yeah, I
no,
put
no
I
comment
just
on
put
that.
a little note on the bottom just so people, because you remember in the beginning before the on chart, like the olden days, they used to do that so people, other traders can look at that as another confirmation.
Hmm.
And also I see by looking at the subchart, you see the blue icebergs. Like
Mm-hmm.
you see the blue icebergs are above the red line. So that also I pay I took into account because it was because icebergs, they keep on putting more icebergs by ice. So
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
that also another confluence.
Yeah. 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 Sounds good. Yeah.
There's only one
David,
from Alan.
any follow-up?
Not really. Beyond, I echo what Alan's saying. I like the subchart. If I remember rightly, Bruce, I think Jack prefers not to use the subchart or doesn't use the icebergs on the subchart. But I remember when we first started using that. So I'm stuck in my ways as well. Alan, don't worry.
Yeah, like I like the timing sales also. Not everyone likes it, but I think
Yeah.
sometimes it could really help you because you can see sometimes you can see the iceberg explode from the timing sales. You see a whole bunch of contracts.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
much.
but to each his own. Everyone has their little trading is very personal. So whatever
It is.
settings would work for you and stuff like that. That's what I think you should stick to for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Very good.
Well, excellent. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you,
Let's
Alan.
Thank you.
let's move on and head over to, I think, is Slowdown in here? No,
Hope so. We got no.
I
We
don't
got
see him.
we got two from Slowdown, and we got one from again doing
Joachim
the
or
damage.
Joachim.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. On
okay. I don't
Twitter.
know if he's in here. I don't see him.
Okay.
Well, let's go. You got two on Slowdown, so let's go over this one here.
Yeah. So I think he's a new poster. I know I've
Uh-huh.
been sort of missing in action for the past 2-3 weeks, traders. So nice to see a post on Twitter. So thank you for doing that. Would be nice to have a slightly wider photo next time or screenshot really on Twitter, sort of just ideally see the DOM, maybe to Alan's sort of time and sales, just to get a wider feel of what's going on. This is a similar sort of trade really to what Alan was taking. We've got a downward movement with, as you can see there, Bruce, going down, and he's taken the counter trend against that, which, as like we said to Alan, is quite a bold move on that. Would be nice to have maybe, as we'll see, we'll slow down that sort of picture in picture, so we get a bit more context and so forth. I get the sense where he's saying this is pre-market, that this time frame is probably Asian, but it may got that completely wrong. Maybe it's on Hong Kong time or something like that. A little bit more context as well in terms of what was going on the day. We can all talk about FMC yesterday. We can talk about today with all the war drums and so forth. So that can really help us. But yeah, nice to see an early chart, and nice then to know a little bit more about sort of trade management. What were you doing? Did you take a market order in here? Did you take a stop order in or something with which to get in? And what was your thoughts in terms of your profit evolving? I can see the TP lines on there. Were you looking to scale in or leg in, as some people say, etc., etc.? So yeah, good first chart to see. But nice to see those posting skills develop in the coming weeks, if I say, Bruce. And I'm going to kick the ball back to you, sir. As I do.
All right. I totally agree. I mean, like, in fact, like, you know, I think this is a worthy study to go through, is especially in replay mode, and then start to trade it, is we're always kind of, so for some reason, like, especially kind of newer traders, like, we're always kind of trying to pick the reversal. And reversals can be really, a lot more challenging to hit your targets, etc. It's so much more. Typically, it's much easier to wait for like this thing to happen, this to happen. And maybe it went up to here, and then maybe it came back down, chopped around for a bit, and then maybe it broke out, and then it kind of pulled back to here. And then you start to look for an entry, something like that. And in fact, a lot of times you can look at the trend line here. It holds up pretty nicely sometimes. It's just something to consider. But anything to help in terms of confluence. And then look for those buyers to come in and start moving it away. You got to get your big, your green dots, that's for sure.
Big dots, yeah.
And then look for them to at least come back up to here. And then maybe take some partial. This is, it's just easier. It's hard to kind of watch it go away, and you might not get this. And if you don't, c'est la vie, But here is a very dangerous place, I feel, to take a trade. And try to get away from, this was a winner. Okay, great. Here he's got support and he's going through support. But to me, this looks like it probably, I don't know what happened to it later. We don't have too much information here, but to me, it looks like it's still in a downtrend. We're still making lower highs. We're still making lower lows. I still see more selling. We got CVD here. We still see more and more selling the whole way through. I know he says something in here. Notice how Delta made waterfall, but then turned up quickly in a stop run. Yeah, I don't know. Look, like David, this would, and from Alan's chart, this was your trade again right here.
Yeah.
If you see that buying come in, okay, great. If you're looking for a quick scalp, sure. I don't know. Most likely it more often than not, it will come back up here, retest, and not find any buying, very little, and you start to see the sellers come in hand over fist, and then take it down lower. And that's the trade to be in or look for, I think.
So very much. And as Veil Fan has put in the chat there, Bruce, he's saying he takes a lot of these style of reversals, but as he's rightly shouting out, they're pretty advanced trades to get right, and you've got to have a lot of factors and really get a feel of the mood music to be able to get in there. I do take some of these myself where they're looking a bit sort of dodgy, Bruce, as you will have seen. And if I say I'm relying then on most of my trading on that is going into Ninja, and I'm using Blackbird, which is a sort of automated tool. So once it's in, it very quickly within maybe a handle of a point and a half, and it snaps the stop loss straight into a break-even position. I don't have to do that, but it's high risk. And I'm only going to do that when I'm feeling a bit cocksure about my day and I'm feeling, I'm green. Let's sort of take a higher risk approach to things. And what I always do is, again, you've seen it, Bruce, is on that chart, I'll be using my stop entries. I was doing that today. The market's selling down, but there were some good sort of counter trend trades, but none of them were market orders. I was placing a market entry, and then I would just move it around with my mouse until I think, okay, I'm just going to leave it there. And if it gets filled, Ninja just takes care of that stop loss moving forward and so forth, and just moves it along just so I get a few points out. But to Veilfan's point, it's more advanced. And I say that politely and respectfully and all the words in between. There's easier trades around. As you've rightly said, Bruce, there's easier trades around than trying to be cocksure and just try and get 3-4 handles counter reversal in a falling market.
Yeah, maybe we go through the exercise tomorrow in the webinar, and to just try to force ourselves not to look for that reversal, or if we do look for reversal, let it go, let it break out, let it pull back.
Yeah, and I'm conscious when I say these things, traders, in terms of I have the luxury, if that's the word, of being able to sit around at my screens most of the day, decide if I want to be an ETH, RTH. Whereas I know a lot of traders, they might have an hour here, hour there. It could be they're just trading in the lunchtime, or they're trading before dropping the kids off to school or something. So they've got to make the most of what the market gives them when they're at the desk, Bruce. I understand, I respect that as well.
Yeah. So anyway, like it's kind of a tough one to go through, because we're all trying to see, like, aha, it did this, and aha, I'm gonna take it back up to here.
Yeah.
And just most of the time it just kind of comes up in here, maybe a little bit of volume, and then it tries again, and it just exhausts out, and then it's hard to the bottom. So all right, let's move on and go
slow down.
Slow down.
Perfect. I think you said Bruce, he's not in the
no,
room.
he's not in, but maybe he'll come in a little bit later.
Okay. So this is a trade from yesterday, which is great. It's an FMOC. Get the word salad going there. He's on a 2-hour time behind New York, so that's good to see. He's trading the open here, which, again, we've talked before many times, I think, Bruce, about that, pre these and everything else. The open, stating the obvious, is a higher risk time to trade, but can also be a very rewarding time to trade, particularly when you get on the right side of a move. Again, states the obvious. As I've said on previous weeks and so forth, certainly for all of us, you see a lot of sucker punches, a lot of false moves, and whether that's to do with the underlying stocks moving around, market makers playing around, and so forth. And I also respect, again, use that word, Bruce, that many traders prefer just to sort of sit on their hands, lean back in the chair, and just let the market settle before starting to fire off some shots and so forth. So you've got, like Alan was saying, like you were saying, you've got to find what works for you and so forth. If Slowdown was on the call, I'd be asking him why he was looking for the short. Yesterday, the Europeans had bid, it's a technical word, bid the shit out of the markets from the previous day selling up. So there was very aggressive buying yesterday, very little selling, not a great deal of opportunities to get in. Soon as that opening bell happens, certainly on my end and probably your end, Bruce, it's a new game. It's we've gone to a new stadium. It's a new match. You're on about baseball earlier on. It's completely different. So the fact that the market had rallied in the morning is, to me, gone. We do see, Bruce, we will see those ETH rallies, and sometimes they will sort of fade back as we get towards the New York Open. But once that New York Open started, to me, forget yesterday. There's all the levels, of course, but I'd be curious to understand why he was really looking for the short in that early doors. But it's great that he's sharing that trade. He's also got some spot gamma levels here on the left-hand side. We've got the VT, the vol trigger, or unicorns, as I still call them, Bruce, and so forth. He's got some other levels in there. That level, it comes down to it. It goes back up, and then he's trying to short it down, which, again, I know left-hand trader. I'd be curious to know why you were looking for that short. The VT's been defended pretty well, and the price then is starting to go up. Now, I appreciate when he's got in, it hasn't quite finished printed that sort of higher low. But back to the morning, it was a very high risk trade, very, very high risk trade, and he soon got slapped around on that. Then the other question would be, when or did you look to get long yesterday? When did your mindset? We all get that, Bruce. We all get a little bit blinkered in terms of it's going to go down. It's going to go down. A bit like today, like I said, when I was putting my stop entries, trying to get some sneaky longs in, not realizing until the end of the day how far we'd actually fallen. So we can all do it. But great chart, great sharing. On the next one down, he's got a picture-in-picture to give that sort of context and so forth. But it would be nice if he was on the call or on the Webby, we could chat a little bit more about that sort of logic and so forth. But I'm sure, like all of us, he'll have learned from this, taken lessons away, and perhaps been a little bit more cautious about dancing at the Open, where the trend clearly yesterday was up, and so forth. To you, Bruce, the ball. I'm passing it to the quarterback. I'm a Monday morning quarterback anyway, Bruce. So don't worry. Ball to you.
Yeah. I mean, guys, that is something here. I want to say, like, we're here as coaches to give you feedback, but this is so easy in hindsight. You guys are doing the hard work and putting yourself out there. It's really highly appreciated because
Very much.
look, I mean, Slowdown had 2 losses, one after another. And he's sharing it with everybody here.
Beautiful.
This is really great because we can sit back and go, oh yeah, look at that. What are you thinking? Or whatever. But like it's really we all do this. So just get better and refine. And Doc, keep going. Just keep moving forward and learning, and keep at it and refine it. Go through this process. I mean, Slowdown, has been big on checklists. It's funny I don't really see one here, but he kind of mentions things in here. So I can kind of see what he's looking at, David. So he sees the heavy, quick, impulse move here.
Yeah.
And then he's also documenting the volume bars down here. They're picking up on the sell side, and he's like, okay, well, this looks pretty good here. We got kind of some exhaustion up here on the buyers, and well, let's look for the continuation of this move. So he's in, and then it comes back up here, and he's out. And then this I would. I understand why he got back in, and he sees the sellers come back in after it up here, and then it takes him out again. And then he's it must have made him feel pretty good actually that this sell-off here didn't work.
Yeah.
Because this is where it can be really frustrating and upsetting. You might even go one more in here. And get stopped out one more time, and then you're like, wow, this isn't working. I think what you alluded to, David, is a very worthy thing about time of day.
It is.
Consider time of day in here, because this is the open, and it's pretty volatile, and there's a lot of stuff going on. To me, it still looks like it should be going down. No, I mean, I do see these clusters of buying right before the market open, but or I'm sorry, if this is 2 hours, then this is the open.
That's the very open, on
Yeah.
the left, the center. Yeah.
So here's the open, right? So you do see a lot of buying coming in, but you see the sellers trying to push it away from that area, and here's your pullback. I don't know. I mean, he's also looking at VWAP now, and he's trading off of VWAP, looking to go along with the sellers. So it just didn't work out.
No. And if I put a quick spot gamma plug, if I may, Bruce, I can see he's got the spot gamma levels. I was trading this very time yesterday, and I was looking across my hero charts, as you'd expect, Bruce, and Nvidia, or Enron as I call it, was going vertical, as was spiders on the option. So that mix within here, and if you haven't got access to that, that's fine. There's other things available, that's fine, etc. But if you're able, even on Bookmap, to take your DX feed or get a DX feed and look at those individual stocks, just glance across those tabs. If real estate, screen estate is quite limited, and that certainly can give you a counter argument to where you are as part of your checklist ultimately, in terms of what you want to do. But really good to share the bruises, the punches that you took on,
thank
on
you.
the day.
Thank you. Slow down. All right, so let's jump over to the next one.
So this is from Tuesday, and this is that down day. And again, Captain Hindsight David and so forth. I think if you look back, typically the day before the FMOC days can be a sort of a 180. So I was expecting more of a down day in terms of they're going to drive that price down because they're going to rally it the next day. I know that doesn't always happen, but it wasn't surprising to be a down day. So that was the sort of context I approached it. I like the picture-in-picture here, Bruce. It sort of sets the scene, and this is a similar sort of theme chart to what we've talked about earlier on with Alan and Joachim. And this is really, Bruce, where you'd be saying this is what you'd expect to happen. We've got that downtrend, we get a bit of congestion. He's then looking where within that box where that entry is going to be. He's got an entry on very bold, which is good, on the left, which is around about 9:45. So well done for, again, lesson there, like for Alan. He's got him really early. It's congested along, and off he goes. The question I would have for him, before perhaps unpacking the middle part here, Bruce, is curious as to why you got out when you did. He's got out at 54.51. Great, lovely trade, great living, fantastic. But as you can see above that, you've got a very decent selling bubble kicking in. And as he's got spot gamma chart levels on the chart, Bruce, you can see on the far left, you've got LG4 on the far left in yellow. Go further. Yeah, so one, yeah. And that on that day, to be blunt, was an absolute beast of support and resistance. And it has been quite a lot of late. So again, yeah, we're all great left-hand side of the chart, but that level was a target. And as you can see, that's, break out that congestion area, that profit target should have been a little bit lower. But I can also understand you've been through that congestion a little bit, like Alan was talking about. You think, I'm going to take my money. It's a decent turn, and off I go. So yeah, good charting, great trading and so forth. Nice selling the tops there, so to speak. In terms of a post London close. Over to you, Bruce, please.
Yeah. Well, this is a classic slowdown spring trade. What I like about it is, first off, I mean, he's been doing this trade for quite a while, and he's an expert at it. So what I always like this one, though, is that he's going with the bigger trend here. Exactly. And here it pops up above, but it rejects, right? That's the spring part right here. So is this volume that's going to lead to this, here. So he sees it, he nails it. Now he's looking for the continuation as well. Or I'm sorry, it looks like no, he took some off at POC, and then bought it. It looks like maybe he's out at that point, and then no, he's got 3 on, I think. So if that's the short, he's got his pullback. He's got the short. Here's the pullback. Here's the short. Momentum, and then the short add up here. Okay. And then out here, and then out here. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying about this. Then this kind of turns into kind of a bigger, kind of flaggish pattern, or big move, kind of consolidation, big move. And I hear you on the higher time frames. Maybe looking for an equal move, down into here. Sure. This is hard in this. I mean, to me, it looks like it's ready to go again. Here, you might even see a transition into kind of a head and shoulders in here. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, you do see some of this volume in here, but this is pretty tricky, I think, in here. He does have nice high liquidity. It's getting filled, and then I can also see the kind of measured move, what he's looking for maybe a take profit down here. and he's got high liquidity in there too. So, he has his reasons. Looks like to me to get out, and he also has it here on his image. That's where he's looking for kind of a it's more of a range bound trade, and then maybe it turns into more of a continuation.
Very, very much completely agree. It's just because he's got that LG4 on there. He's got the spot gamma level, so I'm not cutting him as much slack.
Yeah. Okay.
On it. Okay. I can see Velfan saying, I'd like to understand a little bit more about what I do with spot gamma. Maybe sometime, Bruce, we need to do something with Brent, you and me, and we can do that. Those guys that have access to the Brent's room do see Jack and me brutalizing trades using spot gamma, but
nice.
that'd be good.
That's a good idea
to do something.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll put something together.
Definitely.
And integrating some of this option stuff into the order flow. Okay, so anything else, David, you want to go over?
No, just appreciate traders, echoing what you've said, Bruce, appreciate traders taking time to do these charts, do their spreadsheets and everything else, and to put up with me and others just sort of being kept in hindsight. So we respect all your time on that. And every day's a school day, Alan, so we're all learning together, so it's great.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, it is funny. I mean, it does make you feel kind of funny. Like it's like, oh yeah, you should have seen that. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, this is a really hard thing to do, and just have your reasons, have your checklist. Then we can give you better feedback. And then you will also be more objective with your documentation and your trading. And the more objective you can be with it, then the more that you're going to make better trades, and you're going to understand exactly what you're looking for and doing. And yeah, that just keep it going. Anyway, and we're here to maybe help give a little bit of feedback and guide you on the course as well. Yeah, that's all I've got for that. Okay, we went over this guy, right? So let's see. Now I think it's Jack. Yeah. Okay, we got a couple of images here. All right. Okay. Sajoto, is he in here?
I saw him earlier. He was trying to get, wasn't he, Mr. Ocean? I think he was trying to.
No.
While he left us. Okay.
He might have left. Yeah. Boy, he's a slippery one to get a hold of. Okay. Anyway, let's take a quick look here and let's see who else is in here. Shark Blue. Anyway, guys, Jack is not here. He's still on vacation. He said he'll be back next time though, and he'll be back for some months now. So give the poor guy a break and his vacation here. Anyway, Shark Blue, you are up. Let's take a look here and ask you to the stage here. You're in here. Yeah, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, Jack should be heading home soon because I've now left Texas, as you know, Bruce. I'm back in the UK, so he's got no reason not to be back in his house.
So, Shark, how are you? Still muted.
I think I was muted. I am good. Thank you, Bruce. Yourself?
Doing well, thanks. You've been really making some great stuff. Yeah, compliments. And I don't know. I just let you take it away and start walking us through the trade or what you're looking at here.
Can you start with the tick chart?
Yeah.
So this worked out really well. I start just by looking at supply and demand zones, and I'm straight out of the Carmine School of Supply and Demand. So I have higher time frame zones up on my charts. So they could be there for days, weeks, or months. And more so what you see, my trades are typically a lower time frame zone that I prefer to pull out of pre-market or even earlier in the ETH. In this case, that supply zone from the 25th, from the 25th from the mid-afternoon. So that one had been up there rejecting price the entire time we were in that consolidation up to Monday. Every time price explored that zone, it kind of just rejected it.
Mm.
So coming into ETH the morning before this trade, I think Sunday when the market opened, Sunday when the market opened, price popped up a little bit, kind of hung out, and then ran up to that supply, played around there, right at it for a big chunk of the ETH session, and then came back down to that initial consolidation where it was hanging out right after the Sunday open, the ETH open, and then rejected that low time frame zone and ran right back up to supply. So that's what I'm looking for in the ETH or the pre-market to then look for my sporandio 1-2-3 reversal pattern. So that morning, I don't know what happened at 5:30. Something happened. I think there was some kind of release because price spiked up what to me looks like a stop run to take out some early shorts, and then it ran back down to that supply and then headed back down to demand. So just this ping pong back and forth is exactly what I'm looking for to take my trade after the bell. So that's what I'm after, and I got it perfectly on this trade. If you want, you could go back to the other chart.
Okay. Yeah. So, um, yeah, just, I mean, a couple of comments again. You've got your checklist over here, or your. I guess that relates exactly to your 1-2-3.
Yeah, that's for the 1-2-3. I have entry criteria, which is just three basic points, right? First, I'm looking for my key level supply zone. Occasionally, it's demand. I prefer short trades to long trades, so I'm looking for key level supply. I move into that key level supply, hopefully out of a demand area, and then I'm looking for the 1-2-3 to trigger, and then before my entry, and this is where I've had some difficulties, and I know you've seen it. You've seen me enter these things way too early. And Slowdown told me, a while back, he says, try and wait for order flows to support your thesis to grab that entry. So I was pleased that I didn't enter on the 1-2-3 alone on this trade. You see where the one is on my chart?
Yeah. You mean on the tick chart or on Bookmap?
Yeah, no, on the tick chart where that one is.
Yeah.
That's what I call the minor sell-off low. So that sets my entry level. Now, a bunch of times, if you just go to those two candles to the right of it, quite often I plug in a stop limit right at that level, and as price hits it again, I'm in. So I didn't do that this time, or I would have been in that trade early, and I would have taken that ride all the way back up to supply, literally like 3 or 4 ticks shy of my stop. So did a good job waiting to plug in my entry order on this one. And if you look on the heat map, you could see it much better in there. Let me see, where is my entry order? Yeah, so where I plugged in that order, after that second visit of the minor sell-off low. And then I didn't catch my entry till I was coming off supply with some momentum. I was pleased about that.
Yeah, good job on that. So you let your 1, 2, 3 kind of work out.
Yes, and I don't, I don't always do that. Sometimes I just put the order in there right at that trigger level and it hits. And quite often I'm in the trade too early.
Yeah, I mean, beauty. I mean, again, you know, what you're looking at here was your higher time frame. You had, this level up here. Would you say like 3 times, right? That it had hit this
Three,
level.
three times in the 3 times in the ETH and pre-market, but prior to that, it had been rejecting price for 4 days, 4 or 5 days.
Mm, mm. And yeah, so then you're waiting, watching, and if you get what you're looking for, you're in. And
Right. So entry criteria 2 is that 1, 2, 3 R reversal pattern. And then entry criteria 3, which I got right from slowdown, is order flow support of my technical pattern.
yeah,
And in
yeah,
this case, there was a whole lot of that confluence, right? Starting with the market pulse stuff. I've really been diving into the 3 indicators, the CVD and the market pulse VPI and price change.
uh-huh,
Before coming to Bookmap, I had never used an indicator outside of a volume histogram. And then as per Tom B's teachings, I started using the volume profile, which I love. And then once I saw Crash F16's awesome antics with the sub chart, that's when I pulled up the sub chart and started looking at CVD and VPI.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, great stuff. The boy, I'll tell you. I mean, me personally, I don't see it in here just based off of the volume and price structure, uh, or at least what I would be looking for in terms of a 1, 2, 3 pattern. You do have exhaustion kind of up here. It kind of exhausts out in a little bit of selling, and then down here you really don't have much selling. To see the buyers come back in, it looks pretty good. But and here, like, and then also here, it's looking pretty good again for me that this wants to continue up.
Zoom out a little bit, Bruce, so that entire white box is in the right there. Yeah. So this, I look at the price change independent of the CVD and the VPI. So right there, and I got this from Donkey. Price is flatlined up there where I have that white arrow, and down below, the price change indicator on the market pulse is decreasing. And I've really been watching that close. And you'll see some random posts from me where I'm gonna zoom into this and just kind of point out my thoughts.
So
But
yeah,
price flatline,
show us in here, and I'll outline it. So like uh, what
the
you're
price change is the white line
okay.
that spiked there in the red.
So the market pulse price change.
Yeah, so the
Uh-huh.
market pulse price change is decreasing, and I'm typically looking for it where price is increasing and the indicator is decreasing, like a total divergence. In
Hmm.
this case, price was just flatlined, but the price change indicator was decreasing.
Mm.
And I'm telling you, this is it's so accurate. I mean, I could confidently say where I'm seeing that happening with the price change, and I also get that VPI CVD spike that I learned from Crash. You get a reversal 100% of the time, and
Mm.
it's hard to say 100%, but I can confidently say 100% of the time. I mean, that reversal is sometimes only 2 or 3 ticks or 2 or 3 points, or other times it's a full reversal on the day. And I'm just studying that. I think I'll be showing more of this, but I think the what CVD does after the VPI spike and you get that little reversal 100% of the time. What CVD does after that, I think, is an indication of whether that reversal is going to stick for a while or if it's going to immediately fail.
Mm.
But you'll see some more of that coming from me. I am studying that very closely.
Okay, so which one is your CVD? The darker green or the lighter green?
CVD is the darker green.
Okay, this
The
one.
lighter green with the yellow peaks is
Yeah,
VPI.
that's VPI.
I
Okay.
change these colors a lot, Bruce, trying to find the perfect mix, and there's just not one.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I got it. Yeah, your CVD is going up, your price change is going, or your price change is going down, but volume spike and CVD is up. There's your divergence between here and here.
Yeah, so the volume pressure imbalance spikes, converges with CVD, which spikes. And after this, I'm watching for CVD to either pull back with the VPI or to stay flat or increase.
Hmm.
And that's where I'm looking to judge if this reversal is going to stick for a little bit or if it's going to fail immediately.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's boy. I mean, like looking at just the volume dots in here, and I hope hopefully soon we will have the I think in August sometime, maybe later in August, you'll be able to trade from your Trader Map Pro chart and Trader Lite chart, and also look at stops and icebergs on the same chart. Right now it's not possible, but once you get that, then you'll be able to use this liquidity heat map a lot more. And instead of just looking at, I mean, we're getting a little more insight just from volume and price structure in here. Yeah, anyway, this looks like the big trap up in here, and then here's it just powering away.
If you look over at the volume profile, you'll see a bunch of buyers just jumping in the pool right there.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah, a
that's
bunch
your
of
trap.
buyers. They get left
Right.
behind there. You see that area up there. I have that's the supply zone I was talking about. Down below is the demand zone, and I know the stacker algo kind of messes things up, but you could still see the blue liquid behind it. It's
Yeah,
just not as prominent as it once was.
yeah. David, jump in here. Help us out.
Great. Yeah, thank you, Bruce. Great trading there, and nice to see methods of a Wall Street master there in terms of Victor Spirandio, if I've said it right or wrong. Got a few of those books behind me and well worth reading. I'm sure you've read them all. There's some good sort of techniques in there. I love it. I love that entry that you've made. It's sort of, if I blow it and chime it to what we're talking about a little bit earlier on in terms of you looking for that breakout, and you've defined from your longer time frame, from your tick chart, where that could and should be, and you're determined to go and get it. And yeah, it breaks through and in you go, and so forth. A nice insight to see what you're getting with the VPI and so forth, that sort of that confluence that you've got. Do you run or have you run icebergs much?
I have not. So I've
Okay.
been trying to
Okay.
take this in steps, and
Yeah.
when I first came to Bookmap, Owen, I posted one chart, and Owen asked me to join the Blue Jacket, and I said, "Well,
Okay.
I really don't know what I'm doing," and he said, "Just go for it."
Yeah.
So I did, and I would just point out every little piece of order flow that
Hmm.
I could see on the chart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as that got easier, I decided I was going to take one of my trades. That's the 1, 2, 3 at supply and
Yeah.
incorporate it into Bookmap. And since then, and as per Tom B's teachings, I dumped every other thing I was trying to do
Okay.
as far as creating a playbook, and I just took my number one trade out of my playbook, and that is
Yeah.
this trade that I post over and over again.
Brilliant. Tom is fantastic. I know I've talked about him many times, and he's a good friend. He's I love the way he trades. Him and I trade very differently, but we still enjoy playing the golf, so to speak. Whereabouts was your stop loss on it? Or maybe I just can't see it, Bruce.
Yeah, here it is here.
So
There it is. Sorry, my bad.
right up.
Yeah, right up there.
I
Yeah.
typically place my stop 2 ticks above the trend line pivot high,
Got you. Yeah.
which you would see on the other chart. But that I call it a protective stop, and sometimes it's pretty wide. Stan has pointed that out to me a couple times. But I also have in my head a mental stop, right? A stop loss. So that
Sure.
protective stop, that's okay. My internet goes out, or I get completely emotionally hijacked, which happens, and I don't stop out at a previous pivot, and then I'm set to get way underwater on the trade. So that will take me out of it, whether I want to or not.
Good. Good.
And then I just start dragging that down, basically to the same levels, right? To that minor sell-off low that was my entry, and then I'll drag it down 3 points because that's where I sometimes either scale out of the trade or add at the trade. And then I'm just looking to the left for pivots.
Yeah, that's great. Love it.
Very good. Yeah, no, great.
In this case, I put a order. You could see it. I stuck a limit order in there to knock me out at VWAP because I was looking at VWAP on my other chart, and I typically don't do that. I would wait for price to get below it and then put a stop limit above it. But in that case, I just put it there to take one of my 3 contracts off the table.
Beautiful.
And it worked out really well.
Yeah, no, great trading. Very, very good.
Yeah, nicely done. Another thing I really like, well, first off, I don't see a checklist, but
it's in my text.
Okay. And it's also very clearly in your head. You're looking for your higher time frame. You're looking for, exactly what you're looking for in your 1, 2, 3, off of that higher time frame at your level of supply and rejection. And then I really like the way that you caught yourself right in here. Like your entry it was going to be here, right?
Yeah, I would have.
And
I typically would just plug in that stop limit as soon as price rejects, and I got that minor sell off in my head. But every trade I think I learn a little bit, and what Slowdown told me is it had a big impact on me. It's like, why did you enter here? Oh, well, that's my 1, 2, 3 on trigger. And he says, well, that could still be your trigger. Just wait for order flow to support that idea.
Yeah, exactly. I really like that. I mean, because that's like the kind of moment where you just got a lot better.
Takes a lot of stress out of that trade. If I get in right there and then I'm underwater for that entire ride back up to supply, three ticks shy of my stop, that increases my mindset, or my stress level, and just makes it easier for me to mess up my execution on the rest of the trade.
Yeah.
Particularly you've gone in with 3, I think, there. So yeah, you'd have been twitching. We'd all be twitching for sure, as it goes against you 4 or 5 handles.
Yeah. Another thing I like about what you're covering in here was not only this that you didn't get caught up in it, was now you can really confirm it with this. So you know what you're looking for your reversal to unfold. Now you're looking to get into. So now you got your 1, 2, 3, and then you're looking for. Well, that's not it. Your 1, 2, 3. And you're looking for you missed it here, right? And then you're looking for something up here. Now you know what to look for.
Entries are getting a lot better.
Yeah. Now you're looking for your
that I'm
entry.
reading on the sub chart.
Yeah. In fact, you might even. Well, I don't know. I think this is fine. It's just it is at the bottom of the range. It might have done one more of these things, but it didn't. And I think it's due to a lot of kind of what you're looking at down here.
I think the next stage in my trade development here for this trade is, rather than looking at only that minor sell-off low for my entry trigger, is to look up at the top of that consolidation as well for a starter position.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna actually kind of cover. I was gonna kind of say something that I look at, but I didn't want to because it's, who cares what I look at? Like this one's about you. Um, Usually, though, like you'll see, the big green dots here, and then you'll maybe get some red dots here. And then you might get I'm sorry, you might get another big cluster of green up here. On this one here, you get very little green, and then you start to get the red start to come in, and so you get buyers, you know lack of sellers, buyers again, sellers, lack of buyers, and sellers again. So that's when maybe you can look for a starter position. It's just an idea for looking for a starter position. This one does not have it whatsoever. This is more like what you're saying here is the trap.
Right. And my starter position, if I take something small, I could add to it at that minor sell-off trigger. But I wouldn't take my intended full position size up there. I want to wait for some
Yeah,
confirmation before I do that.
yeah, that makes sense. David, anything else?
No, that. I'm good on that one. Thank you. Very good. Very good chart.
Right.
Very good chart. Well done.
All right. Let's see. Sajoto is still not here, right? You know what? Like David did some really nice work in here, and I don't want to discount it. But we can make this is public, or published, so we can take a look at it. But I don't want to go over it really because he's not in here. Valet Fon's in here, and Rob is in here, or he was. I don't think he is anymore. And Valley Fund has a video that he just
Hasty.
yeah, exactly. So we can take a look at that and then invite him up to the stage here. So see, Valley Fund there. Okay. And this is a video, these very short videos in here, but why don't you, take us through it?
Can you hear me?
Yes, there you are.
Loud and clear.
Sorry, I'm in the garage. I hope there's not like a lot of background noise.
No, you're good.
Which one? Oh, is this from today? From
Yeah,
Google?
they're Google.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great trade for, especially you're talking today about reversals and extreme reversals and kind of the touch and feeling of those happening. Like this was a be at best setup for me. The book was very bullish. There was nothing to the downside to indicate like an entry, and it was just kind of a feeling. I was like, okay, I've got everything I need. I got a really tight stop. Like the stop was like 30 cents. I was like, this is a good entry for me to try to take something, but it was just kind of a feel. It was looking at higher time frames and the extension off moving averages, and the trade it really worked out. Like the book started to fill in when the trade started to come together, but at first it didn't look like, it was really an ace setup for me. But it ended up being like a great trade. I mean, you can see all the buying we had there as we tried to move lower. Like there was a lot of buying. There was still orders higher, but the market and the trends of ES and Qs and the NQ like took over because the RVOL on Google was just too low, that the overall market movement was going to take over. So that's kind of what I was relying on, and for the book to just build in order for this trade to take place, and that's just kind of what happened. I started just.
Oh, we lost you.
We did.
But you're on mute somehow, Valley Fan.
Maybe something.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there you are.
Sorry, I had a call come in on my phone. But yeah, I really just started looking at the NQ and the ES to trade this as it started to work out, because it really didn't have the book for it. So I was just looking for, something to trade off of, and it started to fill out later on as the trade started to develop. But yeah, this was kind of like a touch and an initiative trade. I think I would classify it as.
Okay, interesting. I mean, let me, David, why don't you, I'll kick it over to you. I mean, I have some comments, but why don't you start it off, and I'll join in a little.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to sound like Doug here, I'm afraid, Bruce. So whenever, sorry to keep mentioning Brent here. For me, I don't go near stocks unless I'm looking at what's going on with the options. And certainly on this time frame here, when I flick across on my chart, I can see that call options have been sold heavily, which chimes in with what you're seeing on the chart with those sort of levels. Have you looked at any sort of confluence on anything across that?
I would love to learn more about that, but I know, adding to like my subscriptions from DOS Trader, and then my Bookmap subscriptions, and like then getting Spot Gamma subscriptions, I'm like, I don't know how much more I can add, like, to the subscriptions I have every month. But I would love to learn more about that, because I find it fascinating. I mean, I'm a scientist by
training, background,
by profession, and like math and stuff like comes really easy to me, and I love learning more about that. But it's still, I don't know, I don't have anybody to trust in the information that I'm reading. Jack has done some one-on-ones with me, and some mentoring with other traders I'm with, and he's talked some about that. I'm like, oh my God, that's fascinating. But I don't know if I can justify the cost of adding that subscription to still trying to learn what that means and adding it to my trading. But yeah, because when it comes to this, and there's nothing on the book to justify the trade and going short, I would love to have something else on my checklist to look at to say, okay, like this is a short, because it clearly worked as a short. Like it was a short the entire time, but I didn't really have anything else to go off of other than looking at, what did the ES and what is the NQ doing? Well, they're selling heavily. So the RVOL on Google is low. So Google's just going to continue to sell heavily.
Sell down. Yeah, very much. I mean, looking at the chart, as we can all sort of see above a little bit left from the sort of play button, you get that little pull up, goes into some liquidity, which is below the my words, Bruce, which says my area of entry. That was a very bold entry, so congratulations on that. I probably myself, if I was just trading from the chart, would have been probably about 172.60, where it came up to 172.60, Bruce, that level there, and it's failed, and then it starts to go south. That would be more my entry. So congratulations on getting in, really really picking the peak on that, and the rest then down it goes, as you say. So I often, what I do trade with stocks, I do trade my futures. I continue to scale, and Jack laughs at me when he sees me doing that. But in terms of your sort of trade management, again on that, were you add into this trade as it went down at all, please?
I did. And once I finally got, because trading these last couple months, I mean, I'd love to hear your, applying my trading style to the futures, like the ES and NQ. I haven't been able to do it with success, because it feels like I can see the order book on Bookmap with stocks so clearly. And then I go to the ES and NQ with the bracketing algo and everything. I'm like looking through like muddy water, like trying to just, applying my checklist on stocks on the futures, and it's just not hitting like it should. But even the last couple months on stocks, it just hasn't been hitting as consistently like it was, the whole rest of the year. So I'm even yours and Bruce's opinion on how trading has been the last couple of months. I'm interested in if it's just like an anomaly that we're seeing in the market conditions, or looking to get things back to normal, or what are you guys even seeing?
Well, if I jump across you, Bruce, please. I think it's crazy what we're seeing at the moment.
Okay.
And the thing I
The
always
same
talk
here.
about, yeah, it's a lot of it, and it depends, different rumors, who you speak to, and that sort of thing. But we're seeing I'm adamant about it. Seeing so much market intervention from the Fed, the Swiss National Bank, and other people, and so forth, that just skew this market around. It's not usual weather that I'm seeing. I've been sat at my screens since 2016 doing this for myself, and this past year, 18 months, is just unreal in terms of what you see, for sure.
Okay.
So
That makes me feel a little better then.
yeah, and certainly, again, it's all opinions, how we all feel about what we're trading. ES is sort of middle wild, NQ is crazy wild. The Russell is a little bit tamer, and YM or Dow, whatever it is these days, is a little bit tamer as well. So perhaps if you haven't, but you may have, let's see, have a look at those. You do have the MBO and so forth on those, and because they're not skewed by Nvidia or Tesla or Meta with all those massive swings, I'll say they're easier to trade. Yeah, that there's more of what's on the chart rather than having to worry about, like I've just talked about, what's going on in the options market or what's going on in the particular stock price, because it is an indices of a lot of people. Bruce, you've been trading a long time as well, sir.
It's a hard question. You passed a hard question right on to Bruce.
No, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I do this as a living. Like, I do this professionally, and so it's like seeing this and like just managing my trade and like keeping track of my statistics. I'm like, okay, what adjustments do I need to make?
Yeah.
I'm trying to make them, and this was, I was looking at other trades and things were selling off, and this got to a point where I'm like, okay, this is where I expect to see selling, but usually on a trade like this, it would hit my level and I would see selling, and I'm like, I need to know I go in, but I'm like, no, this thing had to convince me several. I'll notate it up and show it later, but it had to convince me several times that we're going to sell. I'm like, this is a bullish book. Like, I need more.
Yes.
I need more. I need more. Okay, I'll take it. That's a really tight stop. There's no orders down there, but the market's selling, so let's see what I can get out of it. And I'm just going to make the most that I can out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I echo your guys' thoughts here. I mean, and it's shown in some of the webinars recently too. I'm like, huh, I really thought it was going to go down, or I really thought it was going to go. The order flow looks like it should, and it doesn't. So something's up, and I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, usually, like the order flow, that's what you can always rely on. And but then someone just steps in and just blasts it away, and you get caught up in it. You're thinking, well, maybe they'll come back, maybe they'll come back. No, like, it's being moved away. I in my opinion, like, it's kind of funny. We have seen, for example, this algo for the ES. Now today, like I said, it's only on the bid. I guess it was maybe a little mostly on the bid here. So when you see this kind of, in other times when I've seen this algo in here, it's during these volatile times. So it's at some sort of pivotal area. I don't know, that maybe that's just, making stuff up. I don't know, but like, I don't know when that algo came in exactly, but we're at.
I think it came in when I decided to start trading futures.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, okay, I'm doing well in stock. Let me step up to the big boys, and that's when it came in, because I have seen it ever since I started trading futures, and it just I rely on the order book. I rely on reading order flow and just my checklist, and just everything I'm seeing. I'm seeing everything I need, and I'm still not taking trades sometimes and missing trades. but also I'm not taking trades sometimes, and I'm not taking losses because it's just not working. And I'm just going to have to go back and review and like, what am I seeing? Like, what's going on? Like, this doesn't match everything else that I've done to be successful. So what is it that's happening?
I think it's a great question, and it's like you just need to take a step back, and you have, and just go, wait a minute, what's up, what's wrong? The only question I have for you, Valefan, is how the heck are you not seeing everything?
Well, I put in that post too that the TV there, it was supposed to be a 4K TV when I ordered it, but it's more like just a 1080p. It's supposed to be just like a one screen and done. And when I got it, like the definition just wasn't there. I was kind of aggravated, but it serves. I don't know if you have the picture of what's on the other side. It's dual purpose, so we flip it around to the study that we have on the other side.
Okay.
We watch movies and shows and stuff there when we lounge on the couch in the study. But so it was supposed to be dual purpose, and I had to add other screens because I couldn't get everything on that screen because the detail isn't so good. But I have my checklist there above, my screen to my right, but my main screen
here,
there
right?
on the laptop is what I look at, and then I look left. So whatever I'm trading is to my left on my laptop screen.
Okay.
And then the big screen has ES, NQ, and then SPY and Qs, and then my watch list of the Mag 7.
Perfect.
And then the little pad there that you were saying was the
Stream Deck.
Yeah, that's a left-hand keyboard.
Oh, okay.
That's my hotkeys that I switch back and forth for charts and for executing trades.
Got you. Okay. Wow, it's quite a setup.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, but I like it so I can watch. I mostly trade tech stocks. Like that's my daily watch list is tech stocks. And unless there's an outlier there that interests me, then I'll bring it up. But it's mostly the tech stocks and watching the ES and the NQ and what's going on there. And it's easy just to look up and to the left. That's what I'm used to. And then I have Bookmap like straight up in my direction. So I can see, like, that's how I have everything. I'm type A. I have everything lined there. And then to my right, I have, the chat room of, my mentor, and he has his chat room that I'm there. And then the Bookmap chat room. And then above that, I have just a blank dark screen with no EMAs or anything. It's just volume and candles. So I can see higher time frames and my supply and demand zones. So I look up to the right. It's just, structured. What do I need? I need to look to the right. I need to look to the left and get everything I need. So really type A with that.
Nice.
Everything has a purpose.
Yeah.
But you can see like straight up, if I want to look at what the market's doing and where the order book is, I just literally look straight up. Does it match what I'm trading? And then do I want to see what everything else is doing? I look left. If I want to see what I'm trading is doing, I just look left. So
makes
it's
sense.
very structured.
David, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was just going to say I echo in terms of the only stocks that I trade are the big tech, the Mag 7. I respect other people doing their stock picking, but there's ample moves on those stocks alone. There's the liquidity, if I politely say, for us retailers to get in and out and not really have any slippage and so forth. And then I mix that in with the options, and it's good food to be had for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel like that. It's just I really look to be like one and done.
Yeah.
And then do really well on that one and done, and have a little extra risk to give on some other trades and see if I can earn a little extra. But nowadays it's like, man, can I just get food on the table with a good one and done? Or if I miss on one or two, like, can I get back to like break even or a little bit of that back on that third one? And and I'm like, convince me. Everything I look at, I'm like, that looks good. That looks juicy. All right, you got to convince me. Like, I want to try to be a big fish and really bite on something good, but and I've missed on some really, really nice trades, but I've also not taken the bite and missed on some
Horror
stuff that
stories.
just, it just, I mean, I would have, just my stop, I would have just gotten out of my stop, but looking at it, I'm like, that would have looked like a stupid trade if I would have posted that one. It would have been like, what are you doing?
No, nothing wrong with that. Some of you may know Chris Knox. So Chris Knox is a good friend who's out of Florida, Bruce. So quite a few indicators that he and his team built. And I chat to him most sort of weeks, and we traded, I don't know which day this week, for probably 3 hours together. He doesn't do futures anymore. Just doesn't. He just trades stocks because of exactly what we're saying in terms of like, this is just too crazy. There's an easier game to be had.
Yeah.
So he uses Bookmap and Spot Gamma. He just trades the stocks with and options with Tasty Trade, if I got it right.
Yeah, David, if you wanted to like do even a one-on-one or like a webinar or something just on some Spot Gamma, or even how to maybe tie that with looking at different information, I would be so interested in that.
Yeah, as Bruce said, we'll tie something up.
Oh, I would be so interested in that.
Sure, and we'll sort of get Jack down for that as well, because he's a
I know,
big user of the holy trinity, as I rudely call it, between Bookmap, Spot Gamma, and Ninja for me, anyway.
Yeah, it's just I can't justify the expense right now, like for it. But Jack and I have talked about it. He showed me a ton of stuff. Him and I have done like some one-on-ones and stuff, and he showed me, like, I get it, and understand it, but I don't want to like add it, and then it throws more confusion into everything else. And I'm like, I don't know if this is adding value for me.
Yeah, and
you get to the point where it's like, what's the value in the expense?
Agreed. And I appreciate Jack's not here, Bruce, to defend. He's at a much more granular level of using those tools compared to me. I'm just here to chop wood. There's a pile of wood. As you know, Bruce, you see me trade. I'm just here to chop wood, and that's what it's about. So whereas Jack is really into the minutiae and so forth, because he is layering up his options and all the other stuff that goes with it. I just use those tools to trade stocks as they are and futures as they are. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jack and I have some great conversations and stuff. I know he's been on vacation, so I haven't been bothering him, but he's really opened my eyes to some things, and I get interested, and I'm like, man, that's like an expensive subscription.
Well,
it is.
Vale, just keep going. I mean, like, keep pushing here. Like, you're pretty close to like getting Bookmap for free, if that helps. So, you just keep creating new
I was
content.
hoping the MBO bundle. That's what I would really like.
Yeah. Well, then just all you have to do is double that quota, and you'll get the MBO bundle as well. So just keep pushing there, and because it's great content, and
this talking to you guys like live and stuff, just about trading and stuff, is gold for me. Like, this is just talking about trading and the markets and what you're seeing in your experience, and giving me some relief of, I'm still new in terms of being a professional, and like hearing more experience from what you guys are seeing, and overall just gives me a little more relief of like, okay, this may be an outlier. Let me make some adjustments. Like, this can be a good experience, and really I'll be dialed in when things get back to how they are normally.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you've hit the nail on the head. And, Bruce is very much the cornerstone of that. I find with all traders is that we don't compete with each other. We just compete with the market.
Yeah.
And just whenever we're talking, or whether you're talking to Jack or talking to Bruce, talking to Tom or so forth, it's just guys and girls just chewing the fat about the market. It's great feeling.
I agree. And me living up in like the rural Colorado, I get about as rural in the mountains of the U.S. as you can get, and there's nobody to talk to about trading except for my small trading groups and the guys at Bookmap. So
perfect stuff. All down to you, Brucey.
Well, I I did have an idea in here, and you have your own way of trading, so these are just kind of off the cuff suggestions though. But this is your cash open, right?
Yeah, that was the initial balance open.
Okay. So, that is a pretty worthy study. It's hitting your R3 and R4, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
okay, so you got that. You look at this heavily. You got a big move up into it. You've got high liquidity, and now you're looking for, yeah, you had a feel for it, and you took a shot at it here. What I mean, is worthy of a study. I mean, this is kind of your opening drive, your initial balance, this kind of stuff. Up into it, but you've got some confluences, some nice ones. So maybe that you can grab something from there. It's kind of hard to give any feedback in here. There might be like a 1, 2, 3 in here. It kind of looks like it, but I too would be kind of like David. I'd be looking at best maybe down here or maybe on the pullback in here, and that's at best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the starter idea, and then you really get into it here. I didn't notice the other one, the little red one on the red candle right there.
Oh, that second ad right there, I went in full. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I've got everything. I got the partials and everything I needed. I was like, okay, I've had a good day already. My stop, I was like, if I add back full size here, like my stop is still above where R3 would have been, just with what I had partialed out.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like I just went for it. And then on probably a break of that 15-minute high on that previous candle, that's probably where I would have, or sorry, that second previous candle, that's probably where I would have just gotten out about 153.20. So I still would have made it out with profit, but I just went full size back in there. And I was like, the NQ and ES are selling heavily. Like they're breaking through all the areas I would have looked for buying on them. I was like, this thing's just going to sell because our vol is still continuing to be low on Google. So I was like, well, let me make some money on this trade. I've got what I needed out of the day for it. So let me see if I can get what I need out of, the rest of it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like we're talking about. So another thing, like to consider here. So you're looking at you've got a lot of confluences or things kind of going on. The high liquidity, the move up. You've got your R3 and R4, and then you've got your correlations in your other markets. And then now you got your trade management, which you did really nice job on. Starter, scaled out, you made money. Now you're getting in heavy going, okay, I've got a lot of good things on my side here. Let's go for it. And, what I have been finding, like, trading in this kind of environment is, you get all these, oh God, I got another loss. Oh God, I got another loss. Oh God, another loss.
Oh yeah.
But then you nail it.
Yeah.
And you really nail it big. So like maybe you get really kind of chopped up in here, but then it's just like you're saying it, you grab one in here and you take it all the way down,
Beautiful.
And that I don't know, it's a hard environment. Personally, I find, because that really, those losses, string of losses, like back to back, kind of mess with your head. But then it really hits you over the head here. This probably was hitting you over the head at this point. You're like, this is going down, and this is pretty clear. And you objectively saw that, and you're like, cool, okay, I'm just going to ride this down.
Yeah, once I saw that break on the 15 and 30, that we weren't forming like that ABCD to continue higher, to that liquidity still up there and building. And that's the 15-minute chart. We're not breaking that 9 EMA, and it put in that candle. I was like, okay, I've got a lot of protection if it wants to come back up and stop me out, break even. So that's where I'm going to stop out anyway right now. So let's just go for it.
Yeah.
And I added heavy all the way back in full size and just started taking my partials at target areas and just really trying to be patient and hold on and not get out and just be patient and trying to watch the rest of the markets. So it's like, well, nobody is buying the ES, nobody's buying the NQ. We're not finding any buying. So low RVOL on Google, what else are we going to do? We're going to sell.
Yeah.
Even though we get past ATR on Google, I was like, well, we're still going to sell. And so I'm going to target where I would expect to find buying again, which is around S4 on Google. You know, especially once we start getting low of day and through the open and everything, then, you know, that's when I'm going to really start to partial heavy.
Yeah.
Just holding a few shares and then just keeping, you know, a relative stop.
Yeah, there was a proper selling today. I'm probably repeating what I said earlier on, but we were talking with a pre-call, Bruce, on that. So yeah, that was the feeling I've got from sitting at screens today. I thought, hang on, there's really selling going on there. It's not because the price is going lower. Tuesday, yeah, the market dipped down, but to me, it didn't feel like it was selling. Today felt like it was selling, and I haven't felt that for a long time. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was like 3 for 10 probably on this week so far.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yesterday I had a nice green day, and then when we got some manipulation,
yeah,
I was long on NVIDIA on an R4 breakout, and it looked good, like it was going to go, and then the NQ just couldn't break through high a day, so it just dumped.
Yeah.
And it went way past my stop, and I was like, why didn't it stop me out? And I ended up getting out way lower and taking a nice green day into a red day.
Yeah.
You know, just shut it down and like came out today and, you know, just fishing, just trying to find like that one good setup. And then when I got this one, I was like, I really need to maximize this. Brilliant. So I've got what I need for it out of the day. I feel good about this, but let me see if I can get back to what I've missed on the week.
Yeah.
And this one was able to get me all of that.
Yeah, great. So let's see. I mean, there's some other things in here we're talking. I keep going back to this candlestick chart here just because of the orders. God, I'd love to see you trade on Bookmap because then we can point to like I know that you have your reasons, but
well, no, I'll redo the trade on the replay on Bookmap.
Oh, okay.
I take a screenshot of like my orders and the time, and I go back and replay and try to put that on there for you.
That'd be great. I mean, because like once we can start to put together like, okay, look, they're coming in with high liquidity again at this 172.60. You've got your target down here at your S4 was your final target down here. It looks like 169.80, and 169.80 would be about here, and you got high liquidity down here. So you've got some really nice other, pretty strong confluences. If it's going to sell off, then it's likely going to hit the high liquidity into some of these areas. I don't know if it hit down.
I know,
here, but it might.
The temptations, the temptations once it went through low a day and it got to S4 with that high liquidity right there, the temptations to reverse and go long like were there, and I immediately put that to bed. I said, no, like this is a great trade. Like, don't. I'm too type A. I'm more to be hard on myself on the misses and what I did wrong on a great trade rather than like celebrating what was a good trade. And I'm just like, no, this is a great trade. Don't do that. It's not giving you any indication. The market is not giving you any indication that it's going to buy and continue higher. So just, partial out, leave a few for something lower. And, it just, some of those partials lower, just a few shares, just what I had, kind of trailing the rest of the trade. And not too long after that partial at the final S4, I got stopped out on a breakover. What's at 170, and finished the trade. But, it was just get what I can out of it. When I get out of it, shut it down. I'm done. And that's what I did.
Great.
And don't look at anything.
Yeah. Way to go.
But yeah, the temptations to go and reverse long were there, and I would have gotten stopped out, and I would have been upset at myself. So
there you go. Let's see, David. Anything else? I think we got to wrap it up here.
No, good and really good talking So no, appreciate the honesty amongst all of us. So no, good stuff. And I've just as information, I've just popped a screenshot, Bruce, of Google Hero in the chat there, so people can see. So there's more experts than me, but you can see just a real breakdown, core selling ahead of the price going south, which it's not a signal services. I love your phrase, Bruce, but it's certainly when you're looking at a Bookmap chart or any other chart, gives you a heads up that okay, the option guys are going south.
Yeah.
And yeah, David, any more information you want to post and give on that stuff, I will eat up, because
sure.
My checklist is kind of mental now. I just go through it and I see it. I don't need to look at it anymore. So any information that I can get outside of that and just start applying, subconsciously, I would, I would love that stuff. I would eat it up.
Yeah, well, let's. I'm very happy you, Jack, and me do a call next week when he's back in Texas.
Absolutely.
Let's do that, because we both. You've heard him say on these calls, we both trade similar things in a slightly different way. Back to the golf analogy, but it'd be good to. Would welcome that. Would love that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Good stuff. And keep it going, like I said. And maybe we'll also get some webinar events going here. And put some things together for you guys. I think we got to go. It's been over 2 hours. So really great stuff, though, guys. Thank you so much. And David, you get the last word.
Too kind.
Leave it off to you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bruce. Maybe we'll have a market bounce tomorrow, looking at some of the charts as they close out. But there was a beast of, I think, about 3,000-4,000 ICE on the sell. Went through on the close. Have a great weekend, everyone. It comes. Thanks for all the posts.
Thank you, guys. Again, I think from everybody, everything you do. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Cheers, everyone. Speak soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Take care. Bye.